What is up, guys? This is the Average Johnny coming back to you with yet another Average video, and today we are back with finally a new top 10 for one of my fellow games that I've been enjoying doing all these top lists for, the Simpsons Hit and Run. I've been covering mostly difficult missions, mostly entertaining missions, but there is something that some of you guys have been requesting since the day that I've uploaded the top 10 hardest ones, and that is the top 10 easiest missions in the Simpsons Hit and Run. Now, these are missions that you really had no struggle at all to get through, maybe a little tad bit difficulty in one little tiny portion, but other than that, total breeze, no problem at all, and we're gonna look into that today. So today we will be looking at the top 10 easiest missions in the Simpsons Hit and Run. Also, do keep in mind that I am going to be very brief about these missions that I mentioned, mostly because there isn't much to talk about when it comes to talking about easier missions, as much as you can when you're talking about the hardest ones. So yeah, and final note, I will be excluding missions that were on level 1 because we already know those were kind of the easiest missions in the entire game. Wasn't really challenging at all, so I will be excluding them totally. This is basically from 2 all the way to 7. Let's get right to it. How about we kick off this list with a little bit of controversy? Please don't hate me for this. Number 10, the Cola Wars. Yeah, I can hear you guys already. What are you talking about? Average Johnny, this is a hard mission. You're a douche. Now, let me explain why this is an easier mission for me and why I included it in this list. First of all, the mission is not that difficult to comprehend. All you really have to do is just collect a bunch of Buzz Cola cans that are scattered around the Quickie Mart. There's 30 of them, you're given a certain time limit, and we are accompanied by that damn music that cursed us during that mission with Dr. Nick back in level 2, the monkeys, yes. However, it's a lot more simpler because they're just a bunch of cola cans that are scattered around a small little portion of a map compared to the level 2 where it was a much bigger portion, and basically all you have to do is pursue it on foot, because if you try to do it on a vehicle, you're gonna have tough luck because a lot of the items are on top of buildings, so it's better to just pursue the entire mission on foot. By this time, we're already accustomed to the map. We know where everything is. We already had it in level 1, so we kind of know how the buildings work. I don't mean to sound like a dickhead or try to sound like I'm superior to anybody by saying that this mission was easy, but as a kid, I've never even failed at this. I was never close to it. I always had like 40 seconds to spare, and it was just one of the easier missions for me, and I just decided to include it here. So sorry if I offended any of you by making you think that this was some way to insult you, but it is my number 10. Number 9, and Baby Makes 8. Yeah, I don't really understand what this mission is at all, or what the point of it was, why the Mafia guy is even involved in the storyline or whatsoever. So basically, Apu is just realizing that he has to go to the hospital to go see his babies. However, the mob guy warns him to stay out of the entire cola business for some reason, even though we don't really see any connections to him whatsoever. So basically, all you have to do is drive to the hospital on the time limit, which is pretty much fair, and avoid the mob guy, and that's it. Just avoid the mob guy a couple times, about twice I believe, and then return to the hospital and you're done. Like, I don't understand what the point of this really is. I guess it's just like a little training exercise. Regardless, it is my number 9 spot, even though in the title it has 8, even though I could have put it at 8, but I didn't. Well, yeah, number 9, and Baby Makes 8. Number 8, the Old Pirate in the Sea. If I'm correct, this is the only final mission of any level that I will be including on this list, and let me explain why I put it on here. So during this final mission, Lisa's on the brink of finally finding Bart and rescuing him after he was supposedly kidnapped by aliens. The only thing she has left to do is destroy the limo that is supposedly carrying him, and then find them on the boat, within a time limit of course. Destroying the limo is nothing really of challenging of any sorts, especially nothing compared to that damn armored car we see in level 5. It's pretty simple, in fact, that I only had to use Lisa's Malibu Stacy car in order to destroy it, as I demonstrated in this video. And boarding the ship and finding Bart is pretty much one of the easiest things that you can do. It could even be a level 1 type mission. This is kind of a crappy way to end the final mission because it is that very simple, and that is why I included it in my number 8 spot. Number 7, Pocket Protector. Don't be deceived by the nuclear waste that we see on Professor Frink's vehicle. This is actually the introduction we get to the nuclear waste missions that were so dreadful, but this one, however, was very simple and not much to really cry about. In this mission, we pretty much just help Professor Frink as he introduces us to the nuclear toxic waste strategy in destroying the UFO, and we just have to drive his car over to the playground and just throw the first batch of nuclear waste. What made this mission very easier compared to the next 3 was just the fact that we get a lot more time to actually take the waste to the school, and we don't have any aliens chasing us, none of that stuff. All of it is simple. If you do destroy the waste, you are given a much more fair amount of time to go grab it back and take it back to the school. With no real obstacles in the way, you are only given one task, and by that it just becomes a breeze, and you are easily and peacefully able to move on. Number 6. Duff For Me, Duff For You. In this mission in level 6, you are given 3 basic tasks. Drive to the brewery, collect 6 boxes of laser guns from the Duff truck, and then drive back to the brewery and then get a big laser gun. The only thing that could ever make this mission difficult is the possible small timing they had in the very beginning. However, you have access to a lot of fast cars, so it doesn't really become a problem at this point. In terms of the position of hit and collect, you're only required to get 6 boxes of lasers, which really isn't really demanding, considering in other missions we usually have to get like 10, 12, maybe even more. The time given for knocking the Duff truck and then returning back to the brewery to grab the laser gun is more than enough time to be able to complete it and doesn't really make for much of a challenge, therefore making it worthy of a spot on this list.
Can't believe I have a working laser gun and I'm using it for good. I am such a sellout.
Number 5. This Little Piggy. This mission in level 5 is Apu's next stop and trying to find out who is responsible for the tainted cola trucks. For some strange reason, he approaches Krusty to ask him if he knew anything, even though we have no idea why he would ask him in the first place. However, Krusty tells him that he should ask a professional criminal to see who would be behind this. This is before telling him that he should look more American in order to follow a cop, so he probably would not get arrested. Racism at its finest, isn't it? All you have to do afterward is collect a trail of donuts and then follow Chief Wiggum. Once you find them, which he will lead you all the way to the DMV that will lead you to Snake. Apu's default car is more than fast enough to keep up with Chief Wiggum, and most likely you won't have to lose him and won't have to fail the mission. As long as you're not a horrible driver, as long as you're not crashing, any of that stuff, you'll be perfectly fine. This mission will be a perfect little breeze, and it will be an easy transition into the next set of missions, which will probably be a hard one. Talking about you, never trust a snake. Number 4. Weapons of Mass Delinquency, or WMD. In obvious reference to WMD as in Weapons of Mass Destruction, Weapons of Mass Delinquency is just basically Bart trying to get into the new trend of using illegal fireworks after Kearney tells him that video games are just outdated. That moment you actually realize that the first 2 sets of missions were very innocent, weren't they? You are given a time limit on reaching specific destinations in order to get those fireworks from people such as Otto, Mo, Snake, and Ralph. After that, you just have to avoid Chief Wiggum, who wants to give you 5 life sentences, a community service, so you gotta ditch him quick, because you do not want 5 life sentences, I'm telling you. I know it's only level 2, however, we do know a couple specific missions that were difficult from level 2, so I think it is fair enough to still keep it within the top 5. Number 3. Clueless. This mission in level 3, otherwise known as Lisa's missions, is basically her quest and beginning to look for Bart. She reaches out to Milhouse to see if he had seen him at all, and he pretty much dodges her questions by trying to ask her out over and over and over again. As she tries to avoid the conversation, he basically sends her to another location, claiming that Bart will probably be there, just to be deceived by him and to find him at a very far location right before you do, even though you drove on a freaking car. Some of the destinations are extremely close, others are a little bit further. However, the timing is not really against you, making it a lot more easier than you would think, and it rather is more for a laugh and more for comedic relief. Milhouse's teleportation powers are definitely something to laugh about in this mission, but it also must feel like a waste of time for Lisa because this pretty much led her to nothing.
So, Lisa, do you have a date for the harvest dance? This is not a good time. It's never a good time!
In my top 10 hardest missions list, the last 2 levels actually held the 2 hardest missions in the game. Ironically, they also hold the 2 easiest. Number 2, Long Black Probes. In this mission, Homer gains information from the fat comic book guy and acquires himself a badass looking zombie car from an actual zombie himself. And all he really has to do is just follow the alien car all the way to the power plant, very much leading to his disappointment because it just feels so repetitive to him, he even says it himself.
Where's the power plant? I'm bored of this level.
There really isn't much I can say about this mission because all you have to do is get the car, follow the alien car, go to the power plant, and mission done. That's it. Nothing really else much to it. And that's it. I'll leave it at that. Number 2, yeah. Just like my top 10 hardest missions list, the number 1 spot will go to level 6, also known as Bart's secondary missions. Full Metal Jackass. In this mission, Bart unwisely goes to Principal Skinner after he acquires an actual laser gun that he wanted to show to Krusty. However, Principal Skinner takes it away from him because he thinks he'll just be up to no good and suddenly makes up a story about how he has a policy on no laser guns in school. Skinner takes the laser away from him and all you have to do is destroy his car, which for some reason still has his mom in it, and just take the laser back. At this point in level 6, you already have way too many vehicles to be able to destroy the car not to pass this mission. You could even do it with Bart's default car in this level. And you could do it with ease, with a fair amount of time and a very slow car to have to chase down. This mission is just one of the most simplest ones in the game, and for being so high up in the levels, It's I guess I can't really say disappointing or anything. It's just an easy mission. I guess maybe because they were setting us up for, oh, I don't know, an even harder mission up ahead. Oh no, please don't make me think about it again. No, never again. No. But nonetheless, Full Metal Jackass is a very simple mission, and when all you have to do is destroy a very easy car that has nothing but a weak power and 2 very old people in it, sadly. Bart, once again in his secondary missions on level 6, takes our #1 spot. Another top list down. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all your views. Leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what missions were very easy for you, and let me know what other top lists I am missing. I have so much fun doing these because they are just so much fun. I get to go back into nostalgia. We all love nostalgia, and I love being able to share it with you guys. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.